DIY. I saw this clip on Instagram presented by Idea Generation. The reason it stopped and got my attention was, first of all, because it's a very legendary music producer in the Alchemist. He let it be known how he feels about the music industry. This was kind of surprising, but at the same time, he gave a lot of gems.
Music industry.
So he starts it off with the music industry.
And just to be honest, like, it's a headache. It's a fucking disgusting industry. And I don't feel like I'm in it anymore. So when I make beats and I produce on someone's album, yeah, I'm in the industry. There's no way around it, okay? Gotta get the lawyers, do the things, everything. But for the most part, I'm running a microbrewery now. I'm banging shit out, doing shit at my rate, tapped into a fan base that I'm directly connected through the places that I sell it, and just totally in touch with the people. And it's a perfectly working ecosystem. So in that aspect, it's like I bailed out of the industry.
Him saying F the industry, we've heard artists who are currently in the industry say this all the time. This is nothing new. But the way that he compares his independence to a microbrewery, it made me want to do a little ChatGPT research. So a microbrewery is a small-scale brewery that produces a limited amount of beer. The term micro refers to the relatively small size of the brewery and its production capacity. Microbreweries are typically independently owned and focused on producing craft beer in small batches. Microbreweries emerged in response to the dominance of large commercial breweries that produce mass market beers, often experimenting with unique flavors, ingredients, and brewing techniques. Microbreweries are known for their emphasis on creativity, craftsmanship, and a closer connection to the local community. If that doesn't sound like music independence 101, I don't know what does. The analogy's making so much more sense after seeing this definition of a microbrewery. The fact that they're typically independently owned. Well, as Alchemist said, even though he conducts business within the music industry, and you can't deny that that is still music industry work, he is a microbrewery, especially when it comes to his independent projects that he wants to launch on. They offer a more diverse and specialized range of beer styles. I feel like in anything that you read in this, I think if you just replace beer with music, you start to understand why that analogy makes so much sense. They're often experimenting, this time on microbreweries, are often experimenting with unique flavors, ingredients, and brewing techniques. When you think about music producers who are working with artists and they're trying out sounds that may not be the most popular sounds of the time, when they're testing out things that you typically wouldn't push to like major playlists or Spotify playlists, or even for those who are dabbling in radio, you wouldn't push these type of records. For instance, the records that he is doing recently with Larry June, those are not typically records that you're looking to get radio play or that you're looking to get on major mainstream playlists. But they're a sound, and they're tailor-fitted to create an experience that is very customized. Last part about this I think that was really interesting is that microbreweries are known for their emphasis on creativity, craftsmanship, and a closer connection to the local community. To me, that just sounds like the beauty that we have as being DIYers, as being independents. This is the beauty that we have when we're creating the music that we want to create. We're putting our own money behind these ideas, and even putting our money behind the packaging of our ideas. In the midst of me doing research on this story, I found this packaging that he had for a project called the Alchemist Sandwich.
This is the most impressive packaging I've seen for vinyl, and you'll see in a second, but shout out to AOC Records.
So I don't know if you caught that in the beginning, but the Alchemist Sandwich breaks down the different ingredients of a sandwich. We know now vinyls are very, very relevant. Vinyls are selling more than CDs these days. This is the kind of creativity that if you try to pitch it to someone who doesn't understand the cult-like culture around vinyls, if they don't understand hip-hop culture, they probably wouldn't think this is a very cost-efficient idea. But when you see packaging like this, it makes people want to show off what they got. You get artists who are selling merchandise all the time, and nobody ever wants to show off the merchandise. They'll just wear it, and it's like, oh, that's cool. It's a cool shirt. They're doing an unboxing for vinyl because it's worth that with this unique packaging.
And I got the cassette tape too as well. But yeah, here's the Alchemist sound.
So it comes with a cassette tape as well as the actual packaging for the vinyl on the outside is bread. The sleeve that holds the vinyl is the cheese. Like, that's super dope. Look at the track list. The track list is presented as if it's a menu. I get so excited when I see things like that because it reminds me that physical is never dead. It'll slow down, but it never dies. especially when you have creative presentations like this. I've only met like 2 or 3 people that were microbrewers, and the pride that they had within the beer that they made in their garage, you could tell they spent their time with it. They added the appropriate amount of ale. I don't know how beer works. They added what they wanted to add. With them doing that, it almost made them feel like they had a shot at the same taste buds, the same consumers who would choose a brand name beer. And I think that us as DIYers, if we start to look at what we're doing with the same pride as these folks that I've met that are microbrewers, I think that we would see not only the business in it, but the pride, if you don't already have that, and that you did this independently. Every ingredient that you added was what you wanted to add. Every unique way that you styled the packaging was your decision. It wasn't influenced by what Bud Light is doing or what Coors is doing. This is what you wanted to do. We have the resources like never before to have packaging just like that. Now it's up to you to create the ideas. And matter of fact, you don't even have to do all of the heavy lifting with the graphic design anymore. I just saw an update for Photoshop where you have more control over the imagery of what you're doing, more so than ever before. So to create the blueprints necessary to create a customized hat, to create the blueprints necessary to turn a vinyl into a cookie. It is so ironic, but things are going back to how they started. I don't want to say they're going underground, but if they are, I do feel like we are the living proof of what Shock G predicted when he said the digital underground. If anybody is the digital underground, it is us. These creative ideas are not passed down from folks who said you had to be there. They're captured now in 4K. We're living in a very special time, and I would hate for any of us to look back and recognize this is the easiest that it's gonna ever be. Because as technology advances, as people wise up and get smarter, it won't be as impressive than if you would have launched on that idea that you have today. Shout out, salute to the Alchemist. There's a lot that we have in common with these microbrewers. Those are my thoughts. What do you think though? DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.